listening to Big Picture You podcast series from VCG Studios.
Good morning, afternoon, or night, everyone. Coming to you from the comfort of the VCG Media Broadcast booth. I'm Verve Coach Gordon, and you are listening to Big Picture You, the podcast series where wellness practices and concepts meet practical application and real-life example. Season 2, Episode 7, Big Picture You podcast series, 4 Selves of Success. Let's go! This episode introduces the motivational methodologies of Success. Let's go! Designed to work as a standalone system or as a complement to the 11 energies of the Verve. But we'll get into that shortly. Welcome, listeners from around the globe. Many thanks for your support. Big Picture You podcast series is now accessible on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, RadioPublic, and Breaker. Please drop me a note at gordon@vervecoach.com. I'd love to hear more from you all. So, here is Season 2, Episode 7 of the Big Picture You podcast series. The 4 Selves of Success. Let's go. Success Let's Go came about after I asked my nephew, Bank, an amazing artist, if he could custom paint a pair of Chucks for me, that is high-top Converse sneakers. One of the things he painted on the shoes was a really cool graphic of 2 mountain climbers climbing up a snowy peak with the banner Success on top, as the climbers below proclaim, "Let's go!" I was super inspired by the shoes and especially this one graphic, so much so that I renamed my quarterly newsletter Success Let's Go, with the graphic prominently and proudly displayed at the top of each issue. The message in this graphic is awesome as it states Success Let's Go, and not success just for me. It's not only about individual success, but at the same time, it is also about success of the group or partnership. Once again, reinforcing the Verve Coach Gordon organization's core tenet that greater harmony within ourselves, in our own lives, will certainly bring about greater harmony in our groups, organizations, and institutions. And of course, this goes hand in hand with the notion of growth from within to without, and how if we get our own stuff together first, we are then much better able to interact with and even rise to help others. And now that many of you have become more familiar with the 11 energies of the Verve, basic definitions, and some related color vibration information, through listening to the podcast, referring to my book, and perusing my website, you can really begin to make deeper connections to your own well-being. The 4 Selves of Success Let's Go can certainly assist you in further exploring the practical application piece, as promised, that is so important to the framework of the Big Picture You podcast series and the methodologies of the 11 energies of the Verve. If you're not familiar yet with the basics of the 11 energies of the Verve, no worries. You can refer to Season 2, Episodes 1, 3, and 4, and those will provide you with the basics. Or you can just dig in now. Begin bringing further and further into the light the many benefits of the 11 energies of the Verve's foundational guideposts and values that surely increase positive outcomes in life. In today's broadcast, I'm going to give a brief overview of the 4 Selves of Success Let's Go: self-efficacy, self-discipline, self-value, and culminating in self-wellness. Please feel free to reach out to me with questions or if you seek clarification on any of these concepts or ideas. So, cooking right along with Big Picture You, Season 2, Episode 7, The 4 Selves of Success Let's Go. What I'm going to do is give the name of each of the 4 selves along with a brief explanation of each. There is also a very cool infographic that goes with the 4 selves. You can find it pinned to my Pinterest page. And as with all things Vervish, we will continually work through future episodes to find deeper connections, yet always practical application, as together we develop and evolve the 4 selves of Success Let's Go and the 11 energies of the Verve. Always striving to bring about the most fulfilling big picture you, big picture me, and of course, big picture us. Introducing now the 4 basic selves of Success Let's Go. And here's just a side note, folks. There is actually an exclamation point at the end of that, hence the ramped up enthusiasm, which just happens to be energy of the Verve number 2, enthusiasm, and another exclamation point after that. Within Success Let's Go, my first self is
Self-efficacy.
basically taking control and responsibility for our own behavior and life. This also includes self-motivation. Ask yourself these questions. Do I rise up and go to bat for myself, facing challenges head on and effectively negotiating potential blockades? Do I pump myself up with motivational techniques and methods that assist me in maintaining high levels of positivity and performance of best self? Am I kind yet strong in my pursuit of inner and outer harmony, regarding myself as well as others? Am I holding myself accountable for my own behaviors? There are also 3 kind of qualifying questions that may be applied to each of the previous questions as well. And those 3 options for those questions would be never, sometimes, or more and more as I travel on my life's journey. Within Success Let's Go, my second self is
Self-discipline.
as we consider self-efficacy and rising to confront challenge and self-motivate, we must consider that it takes great amounts of self-discipline to achieve higher levels of self-efficacy. You must absolutely know that you are doing the work necessary to be able to perform at your very best, and that you have the self-discipline to follow through, never trying to shortcut. Create a strong, logical, and realistic structure for yourself, comprised of wellness practices, lifelong learning, goal identification, and achievement, all backed by a strong vision and a solid mission for your unique journey. I will ask you this as well. Have you the self-discipline to create, maintain, and remain committed to all of the pieces I've talked about just now? I have a favorite quote about commitment that goes like this, and I believe this is cited as unknown. Let me know if I'm wrong on this. The quote goes like this: "Commitment is doing what you say you are going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you." Within Success Let's Go, my third self is
self-value.
Now, here's the thing, folks. We must come to see ourselves as people of true value. A couple of questions come to mind here as well. One, if we ourselves are not worthy of self-efficacy, born from joyous yet effective self-discipline, then who is? And should we not value ourselves, our talents, and our skills on par with others whom we may often elevate above our own self-worth or our perception of our own self-worth? When you can look yourself in the eye in the mirror and truly see yourself deeply as a caring person of great value, deserving of the successes you imagine, you will truly be set free. Within Success Let's Go, my fourth self is
Self-wellness.
the crux of all of the work surrounding the 11 energies of the Verve and the related 4 selves of Success Let's Go, with an exclamation point. At this point in the overview, we should all be getting a pretty good idea of how the first 3 selves are interconnecting. Moving on to self number 4, we will fully join the selves by briefly looking at the expansive concept of self-wellness. And I'm going to ask a question right off the top here. Have we taken a good solid look at our overall state of personal wellness and well-being? This should be examined from a more holistic big picture perspective, including medical, diet, exercise, levels of personal harmony or disharmony, relationships, personal and professional, family life, time with Mama Nature, as well as reflection and introspection time. This is not an all-inclusive list by any means, folks, but I think it's a good smattering of ingredients to get us started. Another question may be, how is that picture of self-wellness defined for me? Meaning you. It is vital that our path is uniquely ours, that we have created. Of course, it is absolutely necessary to engage mentors, guides, and potential teammates, as well as various tools and resources that may be valuable or may be valuable in the future in order to come to true success. And that success is to have true harmony in your life. But remember, all of this definition should be the most positive and true definition, coming from our very heart of hearts. So, assembling the 4 selves, creating a really great vision of personal well-being and wellness that allows us to bring to life our most fulfilling big picture you, big picture me, and big picture us. Wow. Awesome stuff, and so much more to come in future episodes. I will also be developing group sessions surrounding the 4 selves of Success Let's Go, so watch out for that. Now, the relationships with the 11 energies of the Verve that I associate with each episode's main content. Man, oh man, there are some tasty dots strongly connecting in this episode of the Big Picture You podcast series. I'm going to go ahead and connect energy number 10, courage, at the outset here. Simply to start building or even to begin considering building higher levels of self-efficacy takes huge amounts of courage. Included is the courage to admit truths about yourself, both positive and negative. And truth is energy number 6. Strangely enough, I found that many times it is equally difficult to admit both negative and positive truths about ourselves. Which brings us to energy number 7, self-value. First, do you see yourself as being valuable enough to dig in and realize your true performance of best self? Second, are you ready to recognize that self-value and use it as a motivator in creating harmony within, which builds to harmony without? Self-value is such a vital aspect in creating and maintaining your most fulfilling big picture you that it shares being one of the 11 energies of the Verve with being one of the 4 selves of success. Let's go. Last, but as they say, certainly not least, energy number 4, openness. We must come to be absolutely open to lifelong learning, to appreciating new things, and to the pursuit of higher levels of self-wellness. We must also be open in the sense of being approachable and maintaining a positive demeanor. The approachable piece has a lot to do with the concept of growth from within to without, and that when we help ourselves, we are helping everyone we interact with. And when we help others, we most certainly help ourselves. As always, there are many, many more connections to be revealed, and I invite you, the listener, to make those connections on your own. And remembering all the time, folks, that this truly is all about your journey, while fortifying the notion that greater harmony within ourselves, in our own lives, will certainly bring about greater harmony in our groups, organizations, and institutions. Alrighty, now here's the big picture you takeaway for today's episode. Bottom line, there are many methods by which we can gain greater levels of self-awareness and wellness. But regardless of the methods or practices, we need to rise to action. It is first and foremost up to us as individuals to do the core and the hard work. Whatever positive and motivational messaging speaks loudest to you is the path I believe you should follow and develop upon. I offer my methodologies to you as an option in messaging in order to help bring about higher levels of personal positivity and performance of best self. As together, we truly strive to bring about our most fulfilling big picture you, big picture me, and big picture us. It is surely a privilege for me to be able to provide you with materials, tools, and mediums to help you create your life's masterpiece. The 11 energies of the Verve. Foundational values that can be referred to at any time to help negotiate challenge, help in decision making, or gain motivation and positivity. The book is available at Amazon or through my website if you would like a signed copy. Please tune in next time for Season 2, Episode 8, which will be my Father's Day episode, My Father, My Dad, My Hero. Please visit my website. There's news and announcements and regular updates in the blog area at the foot of the opening page. I mentioned the 4 Selves infographic earlier. It is also available on my Pinterest page, as are all of the From My Heart to Your Heart posts in the form of JPEG files so that you can share them with others or just download for your own reference or even for your computer wallpaper. From My Heart to Your Heart are short motivational or inspirational quotes that I post in private text every Monday morning. Let me know if you'd like to receive them via text. Otherwise, they're on my website and blog page, as well as Pinterest and my social media pages. Lots of good stuff being developed here at the Verve Coach Gordon organization.
You are listening to Big Picture You podcast series from VCG Studios.
All content, text, and music in the Big Picture You podcast series is copyright Verve Coach Gordon unless otherwise cited. Thanks so much for listening to the broadcast today. If you have any feedback, please reach out to me at gordon@vervecoach.com with questions or even answers for that matter. Remember, kindness is beautiful, both toward others and yourself, in creating an amazing and empowering big picture you, big picture me, and big picture us. Be well, my friends.